My elementary principal got arrested, I think, for child pornography.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What was the most NSFW thing your teacher did? Talked about how she gave her excited puppy hand jobs to calm me down. Didn't see much of her after that.
Jesus Christ.
2 teachers got suspended and fired for having sex in our school theater. Side note, one of them was married to another teacher at the school. They all worked in the English department. More like the drama department. I was taking a BO test in college and a girl had a pretty interesting tattoo on her shoulder half covered by her top. The professor walking around saw the half tattoo and pulled down her top slightly to see the rest of it without asking. She was shocked and half the class saw and he snapped out of it and knew he effed up and just said nice then walked to his desk. I'm pretty sure she just wrote it off as him being quirky and decided not to tell the board cause he wasn't suspended or anything. Catholic high school. He was our morality teacher and the lead singer of a band with a sexual innuendo, so he's a real dual threat. He ended up being an assistant coach for our track team and went to one of my friend's graduation parties and they had 6. She was 18. Same guy also took me and 3 others to Hooters on a trip to a track meet out of state, got too drunk, got the waitress's number, and we had to drive the short bus back to the hotel for him. Morality teacher? Was lesson 1 to ignore that book those Catholics go on about. My teacher and the principal were in the closet making babies and I saw one of the babies and the baby looked at me. Had a French teacher that brought in a French woman, prostitute, to speak to the class in French. Sat at the front of the class, on top of a desk, short skirt. We learned a lot that day, but none of it related to the language. Did you learn how to read lips? My photography teacher in high school decided to use the developing lab for his personal project, but left the negatives behind in one of the projectors. That day, several photos were printed off by students and pasted up on the walls around the school. They were of the teacher and his girlfriend in various phases of copulation, some of which included suspension/bondage play and many close-up penetration shots. He lost his job and was subsequently run out of the district. Coincidentally, this opened up a period for me, so I could join the new breakdancing class for PEC credits. My school was pretty fun. A teacher at my high school sold weed to a student and also had sex with him. Plot twist, you were homeschooled. Put too much sodium in a 4L beaker of H2O. It exploded in spectacular fashion, emptying the water onto the ceiling, where it fell all over her and soaked her blouse. She had nice nipples. That's pretty effing funny to be honest. That's NSFW in both senses of the term. Excellent. I do hope her nipples didn't sustain caustic burns though. I don't remember her name at the moment, but my 8th grade science teacher wore a black leather bodysuit and the whole cat getup, ears and a tail, and simple face paint, for Halloween. I think we dissected something. Boners, as far as the eye could see. There's a teacher at my son's school that has worn that outfit for the past 3 Halloweens. The camel toe gets more pronounced each year.
As I look down below, I see your camel toe.
Sorry for the formatting, I'm on mobile, but this story is effing crazy. I had this English teacher during my sophomore year who I actually looked up to before the incident. He was funny, a good teacher, had a pretty cool beard, and was pretty cool. There was also this girl in my class, who I thought was really pretty, and I had a bit of a crush on. My teacher and the girl got along really well, and honestly it made English class really fun. Fast forward a year, and that same teacher was arrested for having sexual relations with a student. No name was stated but everyone knew that it was the pretty girl in my class, especially since she moved out of the state that year. It turns out that the teacher wrote a reffing contract to give the girl a B in the class in exchange for sexual favors. He even left a note on her desk with candy that said, and I quote, "I would smash you into thin powder, mix you with water and drink it." The teacher's wife, who also taught at the school, was pregnant at this time and prematurely went into labor when the news broke. I don't think they are married anymore. Since this was about 5 years ago, I stopped looking up to him after that. That's really sad. OMG. I hope the ex-wife is okay. Nobody deserves news like that, especially when pregnant. This was years ago, but my homeroom teacher got two 13-year-old girls pregnant and nothing happened. The girls kept the babies and they live a happy life. No police or anything, but my town is pretty slack, and they live with the teacher under the same roof.
Okay.
Both of these happened after I had graduated, but my boss having 2 kids in that high school, I heard what happened. The principal got caught on camera reffing a teacher in his office. Principal was forced to leave, but still got his whole pay for that school year. IDK. What happened to the teacher? One of the ROTC teachers was effing an underage student. He was fired.
What the fuck? Stop playing. What the fuck? Stop playing. What the fuck is that? Ah! What the fuck is that? I'm scared.
Had a youngish female sex ed teacher in grade 8 who stated that girls can ejaculate while orgasming. When questioned about it, she described her own experience with the phenomenon of squirting. The boys in the class kept asking for more and more detail. She didn't last long, and neither did the boys. My English teacher, when I was in year 3, not sure what grade that is. I was about 13, would wear ridiculously short leather mini skirts and stilettos. Like, I'm talking porno heels. Here, this was in an all boys school. Torture for a 13-year-old. She made me sit on the bean for the rest of the class because I farted once. When I was in uni, I had a biology prof who just recently started as a prof. Therefore she was quite young compared to our other doctors and professors. We had the subject of sex and all the stuff that belongs to it in a medical way, which is quite avid to be honest. So once I wrote her an email because I had a problem with one of the studies we had to understand. She offered to help me in her free time. We met at hers, which I was quite happy about because the dorms in our uni were a drinking hole and incredibly messy. So when I got there, she opened the door with just a coat. I thought nothing further until I got in the living room and all windows were dark. Candles were lit. So she said she wanted to do this a long time. So I effed my BO teacher, and from then until the end of my uni, I received free help and sex from her whenever we wanted.
My nigga.